All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach and who also rule well. Peace and salutation to those of the hopeful elect. Just want to do a quick lesson. All right, going into how the chariots, all right, the so-called UFOs or the UAPs, which are the vehicles of the angels, all right. The chariots are always in the midst, all right? You know, the chariots are always there, whether we see them or whether we don't. And the majority of the time, we don't see them, all right? But the the angels, which are the messengers of the Most High, okay, they're pretty much documenting everything that's taking place on the earth, okay? And the inspiration, you know, for this lesson, you know, comes from a video that the brother GMS Word of Life, he posted. It's called Signs in the Heavens. What y'all think? All right. And there was a woman that captured, you know, a picture, you know, of clouds. And one of the clouds was, you know, darker than the rest of the clouds. And when she, you know, messed, you know, with the settings on her phone, you know, she discovered that, you know, pretty much it was like a chariot that had a cloaking device. All right. And you was able to pretty much see, you know, the innards of the chariot. All right. And pretty much it was the vastness was as if it was a city within the sky. All right. And, you know, the chariots, they come in many different sizes. All right. All the way from, you know, very small, you know, very, very small. All right. They can even go to a microscopic level, as well as they can, you know, be as big, if not bigger than the earth. OK. And we know when Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, returns upon the earth, he's going to be within the fathership, or he's going to be standing on top of the fathership. All right. When he returns. OK. So the chariots are very much real. All right. The government, you know, pretty much came out and said that the chariots are real because there was too many, you know, so-called UFO sightings. All right. So, you know, we know what they are. All right. We're not, you know, ignorant of Satan's devices, because one of the narratives that Esau Edom has out there is that, you know, what's in the chariots are little green men from Mars, so to speak. All right. Which that's, you know, blasphemy. All right. We know that those are the angels of the Lord, and inside of those vehicles are melanated beings. All right. You know, they have woolly afros and a beard, just like the Heavenly Father, just like the Heavenly Father's son. All right. Just like, you know, they look like us, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Seminole Indians. All right. And the chariots are the vehicles that they ride in. So I want to get a quick precept. This is Psalms chapter 104:3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot. All right. And when you read the scriptures, certain instances when you read about the clouds, all right, for example, Revelations 1:7, it speaks about the Lord returning with clouds. All right. That's pretty much, you know, the ancient terminology, you know, for the chariots, the so-called UFOs. All right. Because these vehicles, what they do, all right, because a chariot means a vehicle. All right. They cloak themselves are within the clouds. All right. You know, going back to when, you know, the chariot led Israel out of the nation of Israel out of the land of Egypt. All right. It said it was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. OK, so pretty much, you know, the chariots, they cloak themselves within the clouds. That's part of their, you know, cloaking devices. All right. It says, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. All right. And these chariots, you know, they're huge vessels. All right. But they defy, you know, the laws of physics, you know, because they're able to travel at the speed of light. Okay, there is no, when you go into Esau, Edom's, the military, they have declassified, videos and stuff. All right. When the people of the fly the airplanes. All right. The Air Force. All right. When they have their different accounts of seeing the chariots, they tell you that, the objects are not being propelled by anything. Okay. Because Esau's technology is limited. All right. He has to, pretty much he's still upon, that primitive technology, if you will. He has to have something that's being propelled. All right. That's why they have, those, I think they're called turbines, if I'm not mistaken. All right. On the planes, which pretty much they use it to propel. But the chariots, they're literally, using spiritual power. They don't need anything to propel them, and they can go any direction. All right. And, Esau, Edom, he calls himself, getting ready to fight against, the chariots and the Lord when he returns. All right. The scriptures tell you about the war in heaven and how Esau, Edom, his place is going to be found no more. All right. But right now, it's not that time. Right now, the chariots, they're in, observation mode. OK, they're monitoring the events that's taking place on the earth. All right. And they're making sure everything goes according to prophecy. Everything goes according to the will of Yahweh Shema Shai. OK, so let me get another precept. This is Proverbs 15:3. It says, the eyes of the Lord are in every place, beholding the evil and the good. OK, and we know, according to the scriptures, that the eyes of the Lord are the angels. OK, they go, to and fro on the earth, which there's an innumerable amount of angels. OK, and pretty much with that high level, advanced technology that cannot be comprehended. All right. They're monitoring everything that's taking place in the earth. All right. And, the Lord, pretty much the Lord, has the messengers going back from the earth into the heavens. All right. To report the matter of what's going on. All right. There's even an angel. I forgot. I believe it's the angel Uriel, if I'm not mistaken. That one of the angels are in charge, of taking the prayers of the saints, up to Yahweh Shai. All right. And then Yahweh Shai goes before the Heavenly Father to make intercession for the elect. OK, so the angels, they're down here on different missions, pretty much, so as well as they're monitoring, they're watching the good and the bad. So they're seeing all the evil things that take place in Babylon. All right. And they're taking it back to the Heavenly Father. All right. And in the day of judgment, the evil day. All right. Righteous judgment is going to go forth for those that are, walking, uprightly to the best of their ability. And as for the rest of this wicked world, heavy judgment is going to go forth. OK, let me get another precept. Sirach 23:19. All right, this is Sirach chapter 23:19. It says, such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of the Lord are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret parts. OK, so the angels, they're seeing, what man is doing in their intents of their mind. All right. And everything is going back to the Heavenly Father. All right. No man down here on the earth is going undocumented. No man, woman, or child. All right. Because, again, the Lord is, forwarding everything into the day of judgment. OK. And again, those that are practicing, and rehearsing the righteous acts. All right. Through faith. All right. That's going to be imputed unto them for a righteous judgment, which is going to be, a salvation. OK. everybody's going to receive a reward. The righteous and then the wicked is going to receive a reward as well. So, let me get a quick precept. It's in Ezekiel 9:4. It says, and in this context, the Lord is speaking to an angel. Ezekiel 9:4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, which Jerusalem is a people before it's a place, and set a mark, which that word mark, when you go into the interlinear, that word goes back to the Hebrew word thawah, meaning exemption from judgment. And it says, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Yeah, the men that have departed from this world mentally and spiritually. All right, that hate the ways of this wicked world. Verse 5, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. All right. And that's one of the, jobs of the angels. All right. You have death angels. OK. And when certain, quote unquote, freak accidents take place, final destination type judgments, guess who, arranged those things? The angels did, with the approval of the Heavenly Father. OK. So certain, freak accidents, where a tire just goes rolling down the street, it dodges everybody else, but it just takes out that one person. All right. That was the judgment of Yahweh Shema Shai, and it was, orchestrated in the heavens. All right. The angels, they went before the Most High. The Most High asked the angels, how they want to judge this person. And whichever the one the Most High sees fit. All right. That's how the angels will go and carry it out. OK. So that's another job, the angels, and, the Lord is finna let loose those death angels on a high level. All right. In the time that we're entering into. OK. That's why, the scriptures say, be not dismayed at the signs of heaven. Hey, the chariots, more and more chariots sighting. That's just a sign to let you know that the Lord, is getting closer to the earth and that judgment is going to go out. OK. So I'm going to continue to read. It says Ezekiel 9:5. And to the others, he said in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Yeah, and the chariots don't have feelings. All right. All right. I said the chariots, the angels don't have feelings. OK, so when they take somebody out, whether it be, an old woman or a young child or a baby. All right. They're joyous. All right. Because they're doing the will of the Heavenly Father. All right. Verse 6, it says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Yeah, so you got the death angels, all right, but they can't get at the elect, all right, because the elect is protected, by the the angels on the right hand side. The angels on the right hand side are in charge of having a hedge around the elect. So when the death angels, come down, all right, and they, they get busy, all right, 1,000 ways to die, so to speak, in the time of Jacob's trouble, they're going to see the elect, they're going to see the hedge, the exemption from judgment, and they're not going to be able to harm the elect. Okay, those that believe upon Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shai. All right. So let me get another precept. All right, going into the hedge, and I'll close it out. Psalms 91 and 1. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High, which meaning, dwelling within this truth. All right, the 100% truth. All right. It says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And that's that exemption from judgment. Verse 2, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, meaning a protection. All right, because we're going to need that. All right. And in the time of Jacob's trouble, it's going to seem as if we're alone, or the presence of the Lord may not be there, so to speak. All right, which that's all of the flesh being weak. All right. But we know that the angels is always in the midst. The Lord is always there. All right. And whatever we go through is just a test. All right. It says, my power in him will I trust. So we have to continue to put our trust in Yahweh Shema Shai, regardless of what we may be going through, man, because everything we go through is a test. All right. Verse 3, it says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. All right. And the fowler is Esau, Edom. You know, a fowler, is somebody that sets up traps, to capture birds. OK. But right when that trap is finna close, the Lord is going to reach his right hand and grab his elect from being captured. OK. So it says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. And one of the snares, really the main one, is going into the MOTB. All right. Revelations, I believe it's in the book of Revelations, the second or third chapter, where it goes into how the Lord was going to keep his elect from the hour of temptation. OK. So the Lord is the one that's going to, keep his elect from, falling into that temptation to be destroyed. It says, and from the noisome pestilence going into the missiles. All right. Verse 4, here's the point. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. OK, so the Lord is going to cover his elect with his feathers, meaning, the chariots. All right. When the feathers represents, the angels. OK. And the angels are going to cover the elect. All right. And really, when you go into it, the elect is already being covered right now. All right. It's just that in the time of Jacob's trouble, that protection is going to be amplified. OK. So it says, his truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Yeah, going into Isaiah 33:6, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. Why? Because in a time of all chaos, all right, the elect is going to be anchored. All right. And their minds is going to be, fortified, because the elect is going to have all the answers concerning as what's going to happen and what is happening. All right. And who's making the destruction happen. The elect is going to have all the answers. OK. And the solutions, So continue to read. Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, the arrow going into the missiles. OK. Verse 6, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. That second death. Verse 7, 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand. All right. Because we're in that time, where masses amount of people is going to be taken off the earth in great number. OK. And the elect is going to be in the midst of it, witnessing all these things. But I'm continuing to read. But it shall not come nigh thee. And why is that? Because the elect is going to have that hedge of protection. OK. You read about the hedge of protection in the book of Job, when Satan, went before the Lord, and then Satan said, Job, had a hedge about him and everything that he owned, So the Lord is going to, protect his elect. All right. It's not for us to know exactly how it's going to take place, but it's for us to have faith and know that the scriptures say, the Lord's servant's going to eat. The Lord's servant's going to drink. All right. The Lord's servant is going to have, raiment. All right. Shelter, and ultimately the deliverance. OK. So we just have to have faith in that. All right. And all the technicalities, Yahweh Shema Shai is the ones that's going to work it out. OK. We just have to do what we can do within our own power, so to speak. So with that being said, I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Shema Shai, Bashir Machakodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach you, who also were well. Peace and salutation to those that are hopeful elect. Shalom and Abad Babal.